So, as you walk down, there is a walkway leading over to that big shack that goes the across the track above it. And as you walk underneath, you get hit by a little bit of blood, actually, as somebody gets just cracks right into the railing underneath you. They got thrown off of their
tooth go
bike.
Flying.
Yeah. And the sound is deafening at this point, but you guys are walking over to this big old ramshackle shack as you descend down the steps onto the ground. And there's just a swarm now of cars, but these ones look a bit nicer. They've got some modifications and things going on to them. You see one guy sitting behind the wheel. He presses some sort of button and some spikes come out of the side of his car. You see a guy with a full heads-up display on this hot rod that he's got, where the whole thing lights up flat red, which then coalesces back down to some fire at the bottom of the screen, like some digital fire. And he thinks he's super cool. And they are all revving and having a good old time. And you walk into the shack, and you see a small dwarf just clearly underneath some sort of big rig. And your new friend yells, Hey, Doc, we got some people here looking for you. And they push themselves out, slide out to you. They are caked in grease and dirt. And they just hop on right up, spin around. They're wearing a helmet with a row of spikes down the middle and a half-cracked visor. Looks like they were welding something. They pull it off, and you see a middle-aged dwarf woman, long red hair with a streak of gray through it, and her face is just caked in dirt. She looks up at him, looks over at you guys, walks right on over to Patton, starts looking at him. Hey, nice to meet you.
I'll put out my hand to shake her. Dr. Patton.
Oh, doctor. Huh. Well, that your real name? You an actual doctor?
Oh, well, first name Patton, last name Normstrom. The doctor is kind of, it's a long story.
We'll go with that then. Around here they call me Dr. Robo. What can I do for you?
Well, Robo, if I could be so casual.
Sure.
We're interested in some pretty uncommon robotics parts. We're looking for some kind of out there items.
She slaps her knee. Oh, what are you looking to build? Wait, you looking to take that out on the track?
Not so much the track. It's more of it's more of like a kind of protection. A kind of some kind of.
No, I get you. So what you're looking for? Some sort of automated flamethrower thing, or what do you want?
Well, we're looking for some form of automation system. We're going to need some very specific wiring materials. Obviously, some kind of casing to house the object.
All right.
And another one where I doubt it would be here. We need some kind of heavily magical item. I'm going
to stop you right there.
Field, etc.
Let me stop you right there.
Etc.
Excuse me. Let me stop you right there. I get it. You get into the thing that you're interested in. You can't stop talking. The big guy here can tell you all about it. You'll never shut me up once I start talking about it. But, so, you said you were looking for some sort of robotics parts, right?
Exactly.
Well then, you came to the right gal. Now, here, follow me. What brings all of you out here, though? I don't see, your type here. Most of them have a bit more fangs, you know?
Is she
your green friend
motioning
there
at us?
Yeah, your green friend there's looks about the part, but you?
John tips his hat. Well, thank you.
Wait, you like me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I happen to be a sort of biologist, a doctor, actually.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm with Patton. You see, we're working on this project together. He's sort of handling the mechanical aspects. I'll be handling the more, fine-tuned mana-based systems, sort of collaboration, if you will.
Uh-huh. Sure. All right.
I apologize if I'm not covered in enough grease for your liking.
Definitely not. You don't normally see people in that sort of get up around, well, considering the look around you, I'm pretty sure you don't know the name of the track, do you?
You've got me at a loss.
If I had to make a guess, Hot Springs Racetrack?
Well, that would be one of the signs, maybe, but no, what they like to call it, it's a little bit funny. So, you know how all the humans and stuff, they used to have those, like, licenses and things, right? To drive.
Mm-hmm. I suppose.
Well, there was a little bit of a joke that some people told some other people that got around, and now this place is called Organ Donor Speedway.
That's out of character laughing. Nice. That sounds real pleasant.
Yeah, it's not pretty. High stakes.
Sounds like it'd be pretty accurate,
and she kind of leans in close to you guys. Between you and me, there are more goblins and gnolls than they know what to do with. I think this is healthy. Normally they would call the herd in some other way. This is just more fun for me.
I guess.
Here, let's look around my shop a little bit. So this one that I was working on here, and she kicks the jack down, the thing just falls. It's a large pickup truck. She kind of scrambles into the driver's seat. You press this right here, and the hood pops up, and you see a metallic arm, like a swinging arm, come out, and a spinning, rotating, like wood cutting saw just comes out of the front and rotates back and forth, like scanning across the front.
Some straight up BattleBot shit.
Yeah. So she hops out while it's still spinning. It is going way above her head. She's kind of standing underneath it. Yeah, this is not practical in any way, shape, or form. But it's what they wanted, so who am I to judge? You looking for something like this, or what you looking for? And as it goes above her head.
Well, it's a great idea, and I could appreciate the aesthetics. This is we're looking for something a little more fine-tuned.
Now, she looks back and forth again, make sure that nobody's looking. You ain't trying to make anything weird as a robot, are you?
What do you mean weird as a robot?
I think you know what I mean. I don't want to say.
John has no idea what she means. Oh, Tim knows what she means.
I know what she means. Elias doesn't know what she means.
Yeah. So she's going to like, look, that would have made a bit more sense. Sorry I brought it up. So that's not it then. Right then. So, you're just looking for raw components then, aren't you? You want to build something yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have a little bit of a business proposal for you then. You see, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm in a crippling amount of debt right now.
Oh, I know the feeling, believe me.
Oh, then you understand. So, what I'm going to need you to do is, well... So, do you have a car?
We do.
Can you drive it good?
I don't like to brag, but I'd say I could drive.
Nobody who can drive says, I don't like to brag, but I can drive. Trust me on that one. So, I made a little bet a while back that I haven't paid up on. It's kind of why I'm doing a lot of this work. And the saw is still going brr, brr, brr. And eventually it's going to jitter a little bit, like get stuck, and then jerk really fast the other way, and the saw is just going to go flying and stick into a wall.
I don't seem too safe.
Not quite right. Yeah, so I made a little bit of a really big bet on a car that I had built with a driver that I knew in one of these big races, and I lost big. So, you guys got led to me, but I'm kind of... I know we're in the big building. I'm not the big shot here, right? Big shot's up there. And she points on top of the massive amount of scaffolding. You see at the very top, in the classic, awning overseeing everything in a big, probably what's just like a lawn chair kind of welded to the frame, but like one of the double wide ones, like the Walmart size ones. You see this absolutely huge Minotaur sitting there cheering and drinking fairly heavily. He is just wearing a pair of like clearly modified large jeans. Like the seams don't quite match up. It's like he took two pairs of jeans and just kind of stapled them together.
Elias thinks it's finally my chance to get a horn.
Oh shit.
That's not actually true. It's not happening, but
Is it? I feel like it could be.
No, it's not. It didn't go so well the last time.
And you see, as the race is clearly coming more towards a close, the like two of the semis are neck and neck. Then you see a couple of the guys hold a ramp behind one of the semis, right?
It bothers me the way you say semi instead of semi.
Semi, whatever.
Semi.
Hold a ramp behind one of the semis. These two are neck and neck, and then one of the motorcyclists ramps off of that ramp above and over, crashes into that scaffolding, taking out a good chunk of it, and like a person, but he goes right over the line, and then you see the huge Minotaur stand up, slam on a foot pedal somewhere, and from two large exhaust ports at the bottom of his big old throne, you just see spurts of fire and a like deafening horn. As you hear him,
a car horn.
Yeah, like a big old truck horn. You then see him reach down to a large megaphone, yell, "We got a winner!" And the crowd erupts.
Oh yeah.
And he does kind of have that weird voice, like he barely knows how to talk.
A little bit of that gump in him.
Yeah.
John chuckles noticeably at this.
Yeah. So, she points up to him. That, right there. Ooh, I owe a lot of money to him. Just a lot.
Just a tiny, huge mistake that you made there. Happens to the best of us.
I mean, I'm sure the risk she took was calculated.
I get where you're going with that. Yeah, that right there is Rakraprak. And he
Say that one more time.
Rakraprak.
Rocker crack.
You do kind of have to slur it.
Wreck.
Rocker
There
crack.
you go. So, if you all are very confident in your abilities, there's a little bit of an individual race coming up that, if I could bet on you and you actually win, could make me a lot of money. Or, and she looks side to side, or you could throw it in a very specific way and make me a lot of money.
Just out of pure curiosity here, I assume the penalty for throwing on purpose is
death.
Yes, well.
And there's a high chance of racing that we will also experience death.
Yes,
There's a lot of death here.
there is. Just a mess of it.
Imagine they don't call it Orgadone Speedway. Is that what it was?
Organ Donor Speedway.
I imagine didn't get that name for nothing.
Nope.
So,
Free to say no, but please.
I mean, I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything, but you're just asking some complete strangers to risk life and limb for you.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
I mean,
I feel like it might be to our benefit to at least see the parts you're offering before.
Oh, sure.
We make any sort of firm commitments.
Sure.
Can any of us really handle racing?
I don't know.
Well,
Can
I
you?
certainly can't.
I'm confident in my ability to drive.
I mean, I learned to drive, but I haven't been driving more than a month.
John still
know
has
what
his
I'm doing.
permit.
That's about what I thought there, big fella. I think I can drive pretty good.
I don't appreciate that.
As
That's
Elias
fine.
said, though, I mean, we could consider it, but I'd like to see if you have the parts we're looking for before we make any
Sure.
decision.
Come on back here. I've got my own little private workshop. This is where I've just been working on things. Here, excuse me, pardon me, coming through. And this whole time, there's been a lot of people coming through, in and out, getting parts, things like that. She leads you through the crowd to a big like hangar door that has Doc spray painted on it with a couple of stars and like a flower. She pulls on the little pull cord to lift the thing, raises it up, and you guys see just wall to wall, compared to everything that you'd seen before where it's all ramshackle, this looks like an actual garage. You go in, everything is neatly organized, there are just rows of tools, several cars neatly arranged on jacks lifted up off of the ground. And
Like
you
Rux's
see
place, except professional.
yes, and then you see another dwarf again underneath the car, and she walks over and smiling and just kind of kicks him in the side a little bit, not super hard, but enough for him to go please don't. I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that, and push himself out. And he looks pretty young. He's got a very light beard. She puts her hand on his shoulder and goes, "Well now, what can me and my son do for you here? Please, take a look around."
All right, I'll go ahead and thank you. I'm looking for some very specific parts. I'll just go ahead and take a look around. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no
At
problem.
this point, I pat Elias on the back and I go, I understand I feel a little left out here.
In character, I am going to laugh so hard at that. Oh my god.
Rude.
My hand's covered in grease.
Not particularly fond of being covered in grease, so left out isn't exactly the words I would describe it as, but if it makes you feel better.
Alrighty.
All right,
So, give me a good old-fashioned Arcana check there to see if they got what you want. Like, see if you can identify
right.
things in this mess.
I got a 19 in total.
Okay, so, yeah. it isn't a mess insofar as it's messy, but there's just a lot of stuff, right? And you're looking for very specific things. What did you say?
I'm just wondering if it's Arcana or if I would even be able to identify it with, a different skill. Like, I don't think Dungeoneering would come into play here.
Is that everybody that can roll that?
No.
Oh.
You don't know what the fuck parts he's looking for.
What are you building, Jerry?
Well, like Elias asked, I was just...
Well, yeah, but I'm working together with...
Yeah, but you're working together kind of on the conceptual level. You don't know what parts he's looking for.
Can I perception to see if there's anything that sticks out as particularly unusual?
Sure.
Something that looks rare compared to, like, piles of light bulbs.
Yeah, sure. That's reasonable.
That is going to be a 17 total.
17 total? All right. On that 19, then. Wait, who the fuck just did a slide whistle? There was just an old-timey slide whistle in the background.
Who has a slide whistle?
There's children yelling outside my apartment.
Yeah, I heard some sort of old-timey fucking slide whistle. I'm not going insane.
No, I heard it.
No, I heard it.
I heard like a pew.
No, I definitely
didn't
heard
hear
it.
that.
I'm going to yell out my window at those kids in Japan to keep it down. I'm trying to play D&D.
Nice.
That seems reasonable.
On that 19, what you're going to find is that there are actually a lot of components over in one of the corners that are just purely dedicated to remote control. Like, you see, clearly she has some sort of project going on for a fully remotely controlled car. Ooh. Right?
So transceivers and things like that.
Now, note, I'm not a fucking electrical engineer, so I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
Not an electrical engineer. Basically, you find the project that she's working on that you identify as trying to make an automated, like, fucking remote controlled car. And that's about some of the parts that you would need if you want to be able to control what you're making remotely. Because you were talking about wanting to make things like, you were wanting to be able to make, like, put it on some sort of like like self-movable system so you can bring it along with you. That jammer or whatever you're making, right?
Yeah. The kind of shield.
Yeah.
There's no point in having like an immobile, hunk of metal we have to drag across the ground.
Right. And you want to be able to sync that up with your system so you don't just have to carry around a big old thing, right? And that looks like what she's doing here. Like, you do notice the VR jack built into it. And on that perception check, actually, the 17 perception, you would see that you're looking for things that look weird and out of place, right?
Yeah.
Plus, you don't know much when it comes to that stuff, but you do notice that her son, like, he goes back to working, he's got one of those jacks on the back of his neck.
Wait, so does it look like, I don't know.
So imagine, one of the, like, Ghost in the Shell style,
like the ones that we have.
Jacks.
Yeah, I know.
It's the exact same type. I'm having trouble actually describing it without using a just regular cable, because I don't want to be like, yeah, it's like a fucking coax cable in the back of your neck. No.
I mean, it is.
But it's a bit bigger than that. The cable jack itself is about like a silver dollar sized.
You'd say it's just like a thick coax cable?
Shut the fuck up. So, I get where you're going with that, and no, stop. No more thick jokes. No more thick jokes.
More thick jokes.
See, you could tell that everyone was quiet because we were trying to think of a bunch.
Yes, I
cut
know.
Out of it. I just heard more thick jokes.
Oh, fuck's sake. But, yeah, it's about silver dollar sized circular divot with a couple of fucking whatever's they're called.
Now,
sticking out.
Does his mom have one as well?
No.
Interesting.
He does not. But Yeah, Patton, you see the control system, and then it also seems to be hooked up to the transceiver, which not only has a analog control system attached to it, it also has like one of those like VR jack inputs built into it, but it's sketchy. You can tell that this thing is not done. But yeah, that looks around something like you were looking for.
Hey, Doc.
Yep.
What about this, I think what I need is right here in this pile.
Oh, you've got a good eye. Oh, that's what you're going for. Okay, this just got interesting. So, yes. This... Well, I've been working on it for a while, and it would take a long time to replace, but getting flayed versus being set back a couple of years, flayed, being set back a couple of years, it's actually a pretty hard choice. Let me think about it for a second. If you want it, you can have it if you do the right thing. Namely, get my debt cleared.
I'd like to debate that being the right thing.
Out of sheer curiosity, what is the actual equivalent? I guess I suppose it's not in standard currency, but if we were to convert your debt to gold or precious metals, what are we looking at here?
Well, mostly they do payments in vehicles and vehicle parts, right?
I suppose that makes sense.
Let's just say one of those big old trucks there is worth a lot. Like where you're from, let me think. It's worth what like a really pretty painting or like a really nice poem written by some asshole is worth over wherever you elves do things.
I'm not entirely sure you fully understand my character here. Yes, I'm equally bored by poetry and frivolous works of art. I don't suppose it would have occurred to you that I happen to be traveling with Pat, and just because I don't bathe in Greece on a daily, basis, it doesn't mean I spend my time writing poetry.
Well,
but please do continue.
I kind of assumed, and 9 times out of 10 I'm not wrong, so it's a little bit of a
welcome to the exception.
Right. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Exception.
Likewise.
Oh, you didn't ask for Dr. Exception that time.
Anyway, there are a couple of tiers to it. 1, I made a very bad bet. And 2, in the process, not only did we lose, but, well, I had a little bit of a payload set on the car that was meant to be fired off at some other thing, a perfectly legal target in the actual race. And it kind of blew up his personal big rig there. So,
what I'm getting is that we can't purchase this debt outright.
Right.
If I may, just for a moment, Dr. Robo, all this could have been avoided if you just come to the Lord. Bible does say,
"Oh, please, no."
Money. If you be content with what you have,
can you
God has said,
get me my gun? Get me my gun. I need to end it right now. Not this again. I'm just kidding, but please stop talking.
I don't appreciate that.
Well, Doc, I believe we'll take you up on your offer.
Really?
Really?
So Patton's driving, right? Like, he's not going to be able to volunteer any of us, right? It's him driving.
Luck, Patton. We'll be rooting for you.
Hey, good luck.
Based on the scarcity of these parts, my friends, I don't believe we're going to find these anywhere else. Or we will have to be extremely lucky.
I mean, you might. It took me a long time, but you might.
You might. You heard him.
I don't think we have that much time.
Oh, so, by the way, let me introduce you. This is my son, Adrian. You can just call him that.
Hello, Adrian.
He'll be working on some stuff for you. He just kind of nods at you and kind of turns around and goes back to what he was doing, getting back underneath the car. He turns back to you. He's a little bit shy. Really sweet boy. No idea why he's here.
So if you don't mind me asking, what's exactly stopping you from just taking this part and coming with us on our journey and not having to pay this guy back his debt?
Well, that don't
Excuse
sound
me.
a good idea.
I don't know you? Who are you?
Oh,
I'm not entirely interested in being followed by a large minotaur and
No.
his
I think Jared's on to something. You should
entourage.
just abandon your post, piss off the warlord, come hang out with a bunch of complete strangers. We ain't gonna ditch you.
And really, the more you say that, the more appealing it sounds.
what if I told you we've gotten away from them before?
Well,
What?
We've gotten away
I
from
would
people
tell
like
you.
this before.
so what you're telling me is that I should abandon my life's work, everything I find interesting, and go off with a bunch of complete strangers and sit in a car with a overly religious orc. That sounds like a great time. No, absolutely not. I would rather be flayed.
Okay, out of character. What the hell?
Matt started
It's a
it.
terrible
This is
idea.
hilarious.
I've got a plan. None of us are going to die on this racetrack. I can guarantee that. I have a plan.
Can you?
Yes.
Out of character to the DM, can he make a guarantee like that?
Probably not.
Are you guys fucking dumb? Did we not just talk about like a remote control like setup to drive a car?
Or you're
Like,
gonna actually
you
try
guys
and
not
finish
listening?
it?
That's what I thought he
I
meant
mean,
by
okay.
guaranteed it.
I mean,
That's
think I
still
was
not a
gonna go out on the
guarantee, my
fucking-
dude.
You thought I was going out on that track? You are insane.
I'm not going out there.
So,
Exactly.
What
Now,
she-
Doc, I am not going out on that track. Here's the plan. So
I'm sorry.
listen up.
Let me at
Here's
least
the deal.
let me tell you what the format of the race is, because that might change your tone a little bit. You have to
Yeah.
kind of know what you're doing before you can make a plan to do it, right?
I think that's pretty
You're,
wise.
you're a big smart science guy, right?
That's Dr. Patton, big smart science guy.
like you said, once you start formulating an idea in your head, it just keeps rattling off. You just want to talk about it, not really thinking too far ahead.
I had an idea like that about 10 minutes ago. It's embedded in that wall. You remember the saw blade? That's what happens. So, anyway, the format. They do these, well, they call them endurance races, but they're really less endurance races more than they are vehicular brawls. Basic rules are you go around the track and you're not allowed to leave your vehicle entirely. You can, like, you can go off and board as long as you get back. If you land on the track, you're out. You are not allowed to steal anybody else's vehicle, but you are allowed to disable it in any way you see fit. The only exception being that, well, anything a bit more sophisticated than that. I hesitate to call that a shotgun.
It's a shotgun, all right.
Anything more than that is frowned upon. It's not exactly banned, but you will get your ass kicked in the parking lot later.
You know, has anyone ever told you you are as rude as you are short?
I have been told that, and I take it as a compliment.
Well, all right.
I didn't think it was going to be that easy to make him stop talking anyway. So, it's general free entry, with the little tiny exception that if you lose the vehicle too, right? So, you probably, if you were planning on doing the throw route, which, again, very high risk, but also lower risk of dying, you would probably want to use a different car than the one you've got right now. Or if you actually want to win, which would be a bit more fun, you could actually try using your own.
So, you said that you were working on a kind of automated system. Well, from what I could tell, I suppose, from the pile there, a kind of remote control device for the vehicles, correct?
Yeah, my Look, he doesn't like me saying it, but my son is a little bit sensitive. He doesn't want to go out on the track on his own because he's worried about grievous bodily injury. And she does little air quotes. So, he was out doing some stuff for, you're probably from one of them. He worked up in Detroit in that area for a while, and actually did pretty well for himself. Managed to get one of those little VR jacks in him, right?
Oh.
They don't just hand those out, so, but he showed up one day and said he wanted to do what I do. And I don't know why, but I'm not going to say no. Like having him around. It's helpful. Anyway, I was trying to make something that he could drive. Join in on a little bit of the fun.
So, for the setup, does the remote control, does it need a specific kind of connection in? Is there a specific car that can only work for one type of vehicle? Like one that you've obviously pre-made, or is it modular to any other car?
Well, I mean, it
Maybe
just connects. It's just the control system for the. It's just the control system for the automated control system. It depends on what the controls for the car are like. I mean, if it's all basic analog, then you're pretty fine. But if you're getting into more complex stuff, then it might take a little bit of tinkering.
I see where you're going with this, Patton. The idea to make our car remotely drivable and enter it in this race. I just want to remind you that we sort of need that car intact to be able to keep going. So maybe...
Well, here's another idea. What if we simply drive the car and then maybe manipulate the other drivers somehow?
How?
That's what I'm wondering, if there's a way that we can maybe some kind of physical...
Some sort of physical device to interrupt somebody's controls on their car?
What, like a gun?
You stole my... That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like a gun, and then make this face? It's just a little, half smile thing? That was my bit.
Turn and wink at Jerry's camera.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was getting at. But no, most of these cars are held together with string and more string. You're not going to make some sort of... None of them have digital controls.
So I could just, whip out this chain here. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, nice.
Out of character
He's in spirit.
Here.
Yep.
A consideration that somebody is probably going to want to think of, but Elias won't think of, is that if we enter a car that is obviously better than all the competition, like the odds of us winning are going to be so incredibly high that the amount of winnings that we'll have will be really, really low in terms of betting odds. So we'd probably need to throw, in which case they'd expect foul play pretty easily, or win more than one race.
Grab a nice junker or something.
Yeah, that's I think a better idea. But again, there's no way Elias is going to think of that.
Nor John, I suppose.
So I could essentially just take this chain here, whips out chain.
Just pulling out a random weapon and going, hey, look at this. Woo, I do lasso tricks.
I could take this fucking chain, put it in their wheels, and it would all fall apart, right?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty standard procedure for the way the race is supposed to be done.
All right, so I like to think we're pretty competent at what we do. We've gotten this far west. We came from New York and we haven't died yet. I think we're doing pretty good for ourselves.
That is pretty competent.
So how about...
Good for you.
Yes, thank you. You can watch it on TV or listen to it on the radio. Anyway, so I propose...
Oh, you have a show.
Yeah, my name's Duran Thalatek. You can call me Jerry. We can talk about that a lot later.
Oh, okay.
Jerry, please stop. You're embarrassing us.
John, you've embarrassed yourself enough in front of this lady. Let me do Let me do the talking. So anyway, I propose an option 3, because if we take our car in there and we go to win it, the odds won't be enough for you to get your debt, most likely. Or at least
Wait,
get
what's
that
your
paid
car?
off. Well, pretty nice.
It's...
Let's just say it has functioning air conditioning.
She takes... Okay, yeah, that's... Oh, so you've got one of... Wait, why is that here? Why would you bring one of those here?
Remember how I said I got a show? We're kind of a big deal.
Oh, I get it.
My show's kind of a big deal, you guys.
That's... Yeah, you probably don't want to enter that one then. That's, that thing would be worth a lot around here then.
Yeah, there's a
Probably.
reason that they took us to you with no question. Well, a few questions asked, but
I can
propose-
kind of understand that now. A bunch of random out-of-towners, including an elf in a damn suit and tie, asking about weird robotics parts. Yeah, they would take you to me. Probably.
right. And for that reason, I don't think we should enter our vehicle just to make sure we can get your debt paid off. But
Right.
if we throw it, look, I know this guy slurs his name, but I don't think he's absolutely stupid. He would probably catch on.
Oh no,
to it,
he's incredibly sharp where it counts. Namely, the horns, whatever objects he picks up. Trust me, it's amazing what he can do with a blunt object. You would imagine it's almost like it's a knife. And he is also very sharp when it comes to getting his money.
So if he cares about his money that much, and we have to throw a very specific way, we are competent, but how about we just play... God, this hurts to say. Why don't we just play this fair, and we'll clear the debt.
No. You seem to have fundamentally misunderstood it unless what you mean by play it fair is cheat exactly as much as everybody else.
Exactly.
Now we're back in your territory.
In that case, considering that your car is too nice and the odds wouldn't be enough to repay my debt, I guess. And she cracks a little bit of a smile. I guess we have to use that. And she points to her son who's still underneath the car. She's saying there. I said we have to use that. He's still just welding away. I swear. Walks over, pulls him out. Get out the truck. And he shuffles on over. You see him flip open a little keypad, press a couple of buttons, and out from the ground, a little there was this like wooden like door on the ground before that just kind of looked like it was part of the floor that opens up, and a small hydraulic lift carries up a nice very large lifted pickup truck.
Well, the question mark after that nice is exactly what we're after.
So, this thing is all white, tinted windows, double tires on the back, and it is very unassuming. But she walks on over to it. This one. I never got around to naming it because I couldn't come up with a name cool enough that didn't sound like I was trying too hard. But this thing is a culmination of a lot of mostly failed experiments into making like those sort of weapons that you just saw back there. The one that flew into the wall.
Sounds perfectly safe.
So it drives incredibly well. But there's a lot of extra features on it, about half of which work.
I'm sure Patton can whip something together.
As long as the other half won't kill us.
I mean, it might. I'm not going to guarantee that it won't. The rules for this race allow a decent number of passengers, which are primarily used as, well, I mean, you saw the race before with the motorcycles and the stab. They use them a bit like that. Usually, people have gotten pretty good at it by now, jumping onto other people's cars, stabbing somebody and jumping back onto their other car. Or stabbing out a tire. But remember, if you touch the track at high speeds, you're probably going to break something and you get thrown back into the crowd and you aren't allowed back on your vehicle.
I imagine
However,
one of those worth the other.
However, as you can imagine, then, driving on your own is a little bit of a dumb idea.
Well, believe me, I have no intention of abandoning my friends.
Great! So, let me check when the next race is, just to make sure you guys are locked in for this, right? I can go make the bet, and I won't come back to find a little note that says, maybe next time, and then I get flayed again.
I'm going to quietly put away the piece of paper and pen that I was writing maybe next time on.
So, see, the races are every other night, and it does happen to be tonight. So, sound good?
I suppose.
Oh, doctor, it sounds good.
Fantastic.
We're in.
All right. So, now that it's decided then, I'll go make a exorbitant bet, because if it fails, I'm dead anyway. Well, pleasure meeting you all. Pleasure doing business. I'll be back in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. Please.
Pat and grab the parts, let's run.
Or do you say that out loud?
No, this is out of character.
So, she
So
walks
who's
out.
in the room as she leaves?
Also, just so you know, there's one exit to this room, and she is closing the one exit.
Okay, I was that may or may not have been a potential plan.
And then you hear a click.
Locks the door.
It is still a potential plan. You could still, after doing all of that shit, go, cheese it, and then just fucking bolt. Except,
Jesus.
Except she knows what my show is now, and she will know where to find us.
Yeah, because Jerry's a fucking... Okay, so here, let's do a quick mind scenario on this. Hey, I'm Jerry, and this is my show that I need to continue broadcasting. Hey, this will tell them exactly where we are.
Exactly.
Hey, now she has a plan to tell that Minotaur guy, that...
now you're
Hey,
getting
you know
it.
those guys who ran up a debt and ran out? Yeah, here's where they are all the time.
It's, if you pronounce it cleanly, it's something like Rakraprak, but that's, you can't pronounce it, you can't pronounce it cleanly. You just kinda gotta slur all those syllables together.
Rakraprak.
Is he, like, particular about his pronunciation there?
No.
We're getting off topic. It's a terrible idea to run.
Yes, it is, but it would also be fun. Why do you hate fun? Let him make terrible decisions that
Fun
let me
for
laugh
who?
maniacally. Me!
Yeah, but no, okay. Elias is not going to be like, let's do something really, really stupid.
Yeah, I'm sure it crossed everyone's mind. I think only one person was seriously considering it.
I mean, Jerry might.
2 people
No.
were seriously considering it.
Okay.
No.
So, considering this is very long, there's a lot of stuff that we can cut, but considering that this is very long, we will leave it with you guys starting to get to work on that thing, right? And then next time, maybe the big race, maybe you guys all decided to be complete fucking rad idiots.
It's Ragnarok. Cheese it.
Just throw down a little smoke bomb like some ninjas, just scram!
John backflips out of the room.
Ha! Woo! You'll never catch me!
Realistically, that is such a
They'll
fucking
never catch
terrible
me
idea.
alive. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we'll go ahead and close this one out. You can find the podcast on iTunes, on YouTube, and Google Play. You can find us on Twitter at Let Me Tell You PD. You can, like I said at the start of the episode, you can send us an email at letmetellyyouabout@gmail.com. That's let me tell you about with 3 T's, because otherwise it wouldn't fit.
And if you don't want to use email, you can send them to my direct messages on Twitter at revivalmat_. My DMs are open, so you can send all your questions to Jerry there as well.
Please don't tell people to slide into the DMs.
I did. I said they were open, but you said it for me, so thank you. Anyway,
you can find me here. Send your questions to me through the Discord link that's in every description, or to the email, or to the Twitter, or to not me directly, because I don't have any of those that you can send them to directly, because all I do is this.
You can find me on Twitter at PulpFan69, but you shouldn't follow it because it's literally all in Japanese, and I'm a huge weeb, so just send questions through the Discord. And
before we finally close this one out, I want to give another big thank you to the Patreon at patreon.com/LMTYA, which is short for Let Me Tell You About, which is the main podcast that I do, also on iTunes, YouTube, all that good stuff. But that'll do it for this episode, so we will see you guys next week.